This video was sponsored by Card Kingdom. You can visit their store by using my referral link in the description below. Alright, so I do think Wand of Orcus is pretty good. We had it in, well, was it one of the early access games? I think it was. It's a little clunky, but, you know, it makes any creature into a really big threat that is very difficult to block effectively because of Death Touch. We've also got Cast Down, which is great removal, of course. Ambergris and most of the specialized creatures are quite good. Hippogriff has been a great common. Priest of Ancient Lore is a really good common. Myconid is a really good common. I think I'm in on the Wand. I think it's just so powerful. You do need, you know, some evasion and stuff to really take advantage, but I think it's strong enough that it's what I want to take here. Good commons for sure, but we'll take the Wand. Okay. Guildsworn Prowler was in that pack too, and it's a nice common as well. We've got another one here. You know, I haven't actually played with this yet or against it. You know, only 7 drafts into the format because of being out of town, and I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. It was our preview card, obviously. That's why I'm taking a moment to talk about it. I think we probably just take Priest of Ancient Lore here. Ambition's Cost, Mind Spike. I mean, the Prowler and the Sewer Plague are both good. I think Priest of Ancient Lore is just better, though. So, I'm just going to go there. Yeah, one of the problems in this format is the same that it was in AFR, and that is that blue is not very good overall. Which is unfortunate. But I'm interested to see whether they do any alchemy rebalancing of the limited format. I don't know that they will. It would be cool if they did, but, you know. Okay, so I'm kind of leaning towards the Ghast. You know, it's really good early. It's good all game long. It does very real stuff. It's good with sacrifice synergies and everything. I do like basically every card with double team, including this one, but this one is a 6-drop, you know, and that's expensive. So, you know, you only need so many of those, and we definitely need some low drops. So I'm leaning towards the Ghast. This does fix, but it's pretty clunky at doing it. Same with this. Yeah, I think I'd rather just have the Ghast than all these other things. Okay, I've had some pretty good experience with Bonecaller Cleric. You know, there are a surprising number of situations where sacking it is like a big deal. I think maybe, you know, as many drafts in as I am, it's overperformed for me, though. I think, you know, it's good, but you do need exactly the right deck build up for it to be great, and I've just had that a couple of times, so. Another Ghast is good. I think we're looking at the Cleric and the Ghast. I don't know. I think I'm going to take a Cleric here. It's a bear with pretty big upside, and let's see if it's as real as it has seemed so far. Okay, so Monk of the Open Hand's pretty good. Another Ranger Squadron. I've been impressed with basically, you know, all the 1s and 2 drops, and the more cheap things you have, the better the Monk gets. And there are a lot of cheap things, especially because cards have, like, the cards that are adventures have a cheaper mode and stuff. So, I think I like Monk of the Open Hand in the end here. Bunch of Ranger Squadrons going around, and I kind of want one, but I'm not going to go after it that hard. You know, this card and its ilk, you know, all the other cards that check for creature cards in graveyard, like, they can be really good, but you have to have a critical mass of them or they're all bad, and that's been a little awkward. I think I'd maybe just rather have a Horde Robber. It's a good 2-drop, generates treasure. I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'm not a big Grim Wanderer or Manticore fan, so, yeah, but I do like Horde Robber a reasonable amount. All right, I think we probably do take a Manticore here. I mean, Dawnbringer Cleric might just be better. The Manticore is better with the Wand, so there's that. Yeah, the Minsk, there being a Minsk avatar was pretty neat. I've had Karn since Arena began, so finally changed it. They're both such underwhelming cards, but I think we'll take the 2-drop. Alright, so this, you know, everybody knows blue is bad, so every blue card is still in this pack. And if that starts happening, blue can actually be better, because, like, Young Blue Dragon and the Githzerai, I think, are both pretty solid commons. They're not great, but they're pretty solid. And one could consider taking one of them here and seeing what happens. Especially because I don't love Thieves' Tools. I think I am going to take the Dragon. Thieves' Tools just isn't wow. So it's weird that this wheeled, because this is really good. White is so deep on commons, it's kind of crazy, because Priest of Ancient Lore is really good. And the Hippogriff's really good. And Patriarch's Humiliation is really good. And all three of those are just great commons. And we'll happily take one here. Alright, a couple of decent black cards. Okay, white card. You know, I don't really like any of them. I think I'm leaning Valiant Farewell if I'm going to grab something. And I have to grab something, so. Alright, we'll take Fixing here. I do think Waterword's pretty solid, but, you know, we'll take Fixing and see what happens. Chain Devil's alright. Alright, we got the Ranger Squadron in the end, and we didn't even have to pay anything for it, basically. So that worked out pretty well, I think. I do think Fiend Lash is pretty good. You know, I do think there's a decent number of commons and uncommons that are better, but it is pretty good. Yeah, this pack is not amazing for us. It's not bad either. This has been a great 2-drop. Like, if you're the beatdown with this, like, if you're the one attacking, it feels miserable for your opponent, you know, because the best they can do is trade and get 2 for 1 at the same time, which is brutal. So I've liked that a lot. I think Vile Duplication's pretty sweet. You know, it's a blue card that's actually pretty good. There is a Prism, which is nice, but we'll probably just take Guildsworn Prowler here. It's a great 2-drop, and yeah. So Black-White's thing, by the way, is stuff leaving the battlefield. We have none of those payoffs right now. This format has felt sort of corset-y in that way, because there have been a lot of situations where you don't end up with that synergistic of a deck. Probably Humiliation. I do like Nefarious Imp a reasonable amount. It's just so easy to scry a couple of times with it. And when it becomes like a 3-mana 2/1 that scries twice, that's pretty good with flying, by the way. Yeah, we'll take Humiliation here. Ooh, Horn of Valhalla is really good, I think. You know, both modes can be powerful, and if you can use one and then the next one on the next turn, it's really powerful. I do like Guiding Bolt and Soldiers of the Watch, but Horn is really strong. We don't have any, like, great Bonecaller Cleric targets. I mean, reanimating a Ranger Squadron with it's not too bad, but I mean, it can sort of turn your deck, your graveyard, rather, into a toolbox. So, like, you know, you look at your graveyard and you're like, okay, I could use that coming back, and then you make it happen. All right, so I think we grab another Humiliation here. Okay, so I think we're kind of okay on removal. I don't know how much I want a Sewer Plague here. I may just take, you know, one of these decent 1 and 2 drops. You know, we have 1 Monk of the Open Hand, so cheaper things are worth a look. I do like the Gates a reasonable amount, but I think we'll take the Paladin here. Okay, so Minimus Containment's okay, but I think I'd rather just have a 2-mana 2/1 with Double Team, so that's where we're going to go. If I didn't have a bunch of removal already, I would have been a little more in on that thing, but I do, so I haven't gotten to play with or against this. It seems like it's pretty reasonable. You know, both modes, you're overpaying for both modes, but both of them have their place. Vampire Spawn's okay. I think I'm going to grab your Confronted by Robbers. Okay. Well, Deadly Dispute is quite good. It gets worse in a world where I don't have a bunch of treasure, but I do have a lot of expendable bodies, and I have some treasure. We're not gaining enough life for the Unicorn. I think we just want the Dispute. Okay, so I think we'll grab a Guardian Naga here. I found the first part to have a whole lot of targets, and then the second part has been a pretty nice late game creature, and I think I want it more than another Horde Robber or any of that other stuff. So, all right, now we'll get a Nefarious Imp. Sigil of Mirkul, I haven't got to play with or against this one yet either. It was a card I'm excited about in terms of being a payoff for the whole 4 creatures in your graveyard thing, but I haven't been able to make it work yet. I think another Soldiers is better than either of these. Yeah, we'll get a Beholder here. I sort of doubt we play it, but, you know, it's not unplayable. It's just like, when you look at it next to Ranger Squadron and Guardian Naga, it's pretty rough. Pretty rough. Yeah, so right now, we don't really have any real synergy. We're just, like, an aggro deck with some value, basically. And I have found that happening a lot. Okay, so this is quite good, but, like, we're not in blue or red. So we're not interested, unfortunately. Okay. So we do have Into the Battlefield abilities that make the Stalwart kind of interesting. The Unicorn's not bad. I'd probably just take Sepulchre Ghoul, though. It's just such a good 2-drop, and we do have some good fodder for it. And, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with it overall. I do think, you know, getting one of these wouldn't be too bad. But, yeah, I think we'll take Sepulchre Ghoul. Okay, another Humiliation. That might be overkill, because, you know, the more of those you have, the fewer creatures you have. So, you know, you do need creatures to make it work. I could just take it. It's tempting. We do still have a ton of creatures, including ways to make multiple bodies. There's a Ghoul, another Squadron, and a White Gate. And a decent, you know, I like this as a 2-drop, too. But I'd probably just take another Patriarch's Humiliation in the end. Yeah. Don't think we're summoning Undead with this deck, but this pack's pretty bad for us otherwise. I might just grab it here on the off chance we end up with some other stuff we actually want to reanimate. Because I don't really want another Cleric or another Valiant Farewell. Like, this has way more upside. It also has a miserable floor, but, you know. Another Patriarch's Humiliation? I don't think so. I think we are finally good there. How many ways do we have to gain life? So we've got 2 if we run them both. 3. Not enough. 4. Yeah, not really enough for a Unicorn, but, like, I have plenty of removal, so I imagine I just take the Unicorn here. I think it's better than these black cards are, so we'll take a Unicorn. Alright, so Prowler or Shambling Ghast. I like them both. We've seen 2 Kiaras, which is... or Kalain, rather, which is painful. I think I like the Prowler a little more here. Don't like the Mace. Do like the Ghoul. Yeah, don't really... I think probably just take the Dusk Guard. It's a nice 2-drop. Alright, so another Ghoul. Or one of these high curve cards that we already have one of each. Probably just another Ghoul. We don't have the greatest sacrifice fodder in this deck, or payoffs for doing it. Alright, we get a Unicorn, which is nice. But yeah. Okay, so I probably take a Gate over a second Squadron. Yeah, I think so. We could have maybe grabbed a little more evasion to make our wand better, but what are you going to do? Our colors did seem pretty open, but it also sort of feels like the average power level of the cards we got was pretty low. And we also don't have a ton of synergy. I mean, I don't think this deck's terrible, but I don't think it's great either. The way it turned out. We have like 1,000 2-drops, which I guess is good. roughly 1,000. So, weaker cards. That would include Chain Devil. Yeah, the Unicorn's not really going to do it in this deck. Look at all those 2-drops. Obviously, we're cutting some of them. Yeah, all you guys are probably sticking around. Probably don't really want Valiant Farewell. Bone Color Cleric seems fine. I mean, though, the only awkward thing about it is we don't have anything like amazing to get back. So in the late game, it's nice if you draw this and you pay 6 to reanimate like your best creature. Nothing we can reanimate in this deck is that good. so that it's kind of a bummer. So I don't know that we really want it. Yeah, Dawnbringer Clerics are quite medium. It's true. They get better if we had like a bunch of life gain payoffs, but that's pretty much it. We'd have a bunch of removal, and, you know, that's always good. And we have, you know, Wand of Orcus can definitely steal some games. Probably should have prioritized Flyers a little more than I did, because I think Ranger Squadrons are only one. I guess we have a Hippogriff, too. And a Nefarious Imp, so we've got a few. But, yeah. So... yeah, I mean, the Cleric isn't bad here. It seems sort of true of Horde Robber. Like, I think they're both kind of medium. We don't have treasure payoffs or anything. We don't have any real synergy. So I think we axe that. I don't think you can really cut the Monk. It's been pretty impressive in this format, especially in a deck with like 1,000 1s and 2s, and we have that. So I don't think you really want to cut the Monk. We could consider a Ghoul, because we don't really take advantage of the sacrifice stuff. Is it still just better than something like Flaming Fist Duskguard, though? Probably. It probably is. And I don't think we want to cut anything up here. I think they're all pretty useful cards. Yeah, we'll cut the Duskguard. Okay. I think that seems right. One thing to keep in mind is we don't really need to play this on one. You basically never do. So it makes it look like we have more cheap white cards than we actually do. So maybe, you know, that means we have 3, 5, 6 black 1s and 2s, and then 1, 2, 3, 4-ish. Also, this is not something we normally play early. So we might actually flip Mountains and Plains. I think we do. Yeah. All right. Could consider 16 lands almost, as low as our curve is, but, you know, we've got like a bunch of mana. We have to sink into this to make it work. Same with the Unicorn. So it's probably okay to just go with 17. Wow. What a hand. No white mana. We do have a Sepulchre Ghoul. It's a kind of hand where if we draw white, it's pretty good, but... ugh. I think we have to mulligan. Alright, I do think this is better overall, sort of. We'll keep 6, and I think we throw away the Squadron, because at least the Guardian Naga can do a thing early. But yeah, this is a pretty bad couple of hands to have to start with. That's a lot better, but we need to draw land too. Hello, Uastru. Yeah. Okay, we did draw land, which is nice. So yeah, I mean, I think we attack with our Ghoul. I'm down with sacking the Monk if I have to here. I do not have to. We'll play our Priest. Alright. Doing okay on mana all of a sudden, which is good. Kind of wish they'd attack with Jaheira, but, you know, what are you going to do? Ooh, there's our wand. Okay, so I think we attack with our ghoul again. If they try to, like, double block or do something creative here, we can really blow them out with the Hippogriff. But, yeah, I do think we play the wand here and leave up the Hippogriff. If I'd been able to use this during my turn, I could have made that bigger, which would have been cool, but they didn't give us a reason to, so I didn't. Seems like a good reason. Oh, she can transform and destroy this. I'm stupid. Yeah. Yeah, that's not great. I mean, what was I going to do with it? At least I make them do it, although it's probably better to hold on to it until they transform, especially because I had other options here. If I didn't have other options, maybe it makes sense, but I think that was not a good call. Yeah, so that goes away. That was not good. Okay, so we're gonna do the indestructible thing. Does do excess damage, so their next creature is gonna be kind of scary, but I can live with that. Yeah. Aggressive. Well, I think we probably block this and take 3. Their next creature is gonna have +3/+0 and haste, which is pretty frightening. Yeah. I think we're in some trouble. You know, just sort of playing into the Jaheira specialization was bad. We didn't have a great... I mean, we had a pretty good start given what our hand looked like, but we didn't have the most amazing of starts either. Yeah, they're looking at their boons. Yeah, that's bad. So, all on its own, basically, it can gain pack tactics right now. It does have to attack with Jaheira, but obviously that's what they're going to do. Yeah, so that's 9. I think we just take it. Need to find a Patriarch's Humiliation right about now. There was a decent chance we drew one, but we didn't do it, so... Alright, so they can attack for a ton on the backswing. I think I just leave... I think we just try to race and hope we draw what we need to win the race, and leave the monk back to block and hope that works. I mean, there's a very good chance they kill us. They have, like, a trick here that just kills us outright. But I think it's our best bet at this point. That opening hand had 2 humiliations. I wonder if we were going to draw planes. Yeah, so we got to block Knoll Hunter here. See if they give it trample. I think there's a decent chance that's what happens here and we die. No? We're still alive, but not for much longer. Ooh. Is that going to allow us to sneak in lethal, potentially? It really might, because we use it on their turn to tap these 3 down after swinging for 4 this turn. Wow. Do we get bailed out here? Time to find out. Okay. They have to play a flyer or kill one of our creatures now or they're dead. Or do that. That works too. Alright. Too bad. Too bad. They had the answer they needed. I wonder if I should have just made 3 bodies. Huh. I think just making 3 bodies was better because I would have made them blocked and then swung for 4. It was less guaranteed to kill them because if they just play like... No, it's the same situation where they play a flyer. I don't know. It's not guaranteed they were going to attack with everything. They really only needed to attack... Well, maybe it is guaranteed because we had 2 blockers. Yeah. I think making 3 bodies was just better there. I got sort of hung up on tapping, but I think, you know, given that card's a heavily played common and hexproof is such a big thing, that probably making 3 bodies was just better. Yeah, I mean, the flyer would have hit us, but we had enough life to take the hit. I don't know. It's hard to know. Thank you for the sub, MTG LaSalle. Interesting end of game situation there, though. Yeah, I had 4 life. I mean, that was enough to take 3 from the flyer. Although, then they would have just used the Linnorn. Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. They would have used it as a trick, so... Alright, we were dead no matter what we did there. It makes you feel a little better. This hand is a decent keep. You know, it's always a little awkward. Like, I'm probably not going to play this Ghast on turn 1. I mean, I could consider it. Maybe I just want to. Sure, getting to my white mana later is going to be harder, but... Okay, well, now I definitely play it on turn 1. Sepulchre Ghoul, Deadly Dispute, and Shambling Ghast. Always fun to play them all together. So I could... Interesting. I could consider Deadly Dispute to kill the Prowler, but they draw a card. That doesn't really seem worth it to me. I do think we attack with our Ghast here. And then we'll play Sepulchre Ghoul. And we definitely take 2. That's just what you end up having to do against the Prowler. Because blocking it is so bad. When it's the one blocking, it's not nearly as good. But when it can attack effectively, and it can on a lot of boards in this format, it's a problem. They about to Deadly Dispute their own creature? No. Valor Singer. Okay. Well, I think we attack with Sepulchre Ghoul here. They just take it. Then we'll play Nefarious Imp. Next turn, we may finally play our Gate. I mean, I think we just take 5 here, if what they decide to do here is attack. I definitely could try to take... I could block and take down the Prowler here, which is good in terms of saving our life. But they get to draw a card, and I can't let... I don't think I want that to happen. I do get to Scry, which softens the blow a little. Yeah. think we're gonna do it. Draw your card. It's not quite a 2-for-1 is the good news, but, you know, it's not good either. Do I want a Soldiers of the Watch on this board? It's not amazing. I mean, it is a body, and bodies are useful, and it can give me 2 with Sepulchre Ghoul, potentially. I guess we leave it. Makes me want to not play the gate this turn, though. Your own Nefarious Imp. Okay. Well. Yeah, so play Soldiers of the Watch here. I guess we attack with both of these. Yeah. Do they decide to trade imps here? No, they just take the damage. Works for me. Okay. Doesn't feel like this game's going great, though, all things considered. Work Caller's been sweet. It's always funny in set reviews. Like I said, the words basically, like, we've seen 1-mana 1/1s that give haste to things already in play be solid playables, and this is like the best version of that. But the grade I gave it in the end was like a C, and it's probably at least a C+. So, okay, that's not good. That is a Battlecry Goblin who's now been given haste. Yeah, and gonna spit out a Goblin token. Like I said, it's not going great. So we basically have to block the Battlecry Goblin here and pray they don't have some sort of trick or something, because, you know, it'll kill us otherwise. And yeah. We do get to scry, which is helpful. Yeah, no thank you. I've had some pretty clunky starts. Oh god. Yeah, that's not... I think we're pretty much dead here now. I guess I could try Deadly Dispute and hope it finds us something. That's like our best bet here. It's not a very good bet. And our wand is too clunky. We drew another, you know, one of our 6 drops after we scribed the other one to the bottom. That's brutal. Oh, man. Okay. I mean, we're not completely dead. We basically have to leave up Deadly Dispute here. Find a way to block effectively. But we're pretty much dead. Especially if they give something else in their hand haste. Well, we started the day just a few wins from Mythic, but I think we're starting this particular draft 0-2, so... Yeah, they're giving something else haste. Oh, God. Yeah, alright. So, you guys are talking about Cardboard Live, I believe. For whatever reason, it stopped working for me, and I contacted them, and they haven't gotten back to me yet about being able to hover over cards. Like, Like, the app wouldn't launch anymore. And I uninstalled it before realizing that I have to get, like, a special link from them to install it again. Because it's not just, like, open to the public for whatever reason. So, yeah. That is the problem. I don't know if that's a problem everyone's been having. But, yeah. Alright, this is a nice hand. We haven't been hitting our removal. I think we play the Prowler next, just because if you can get it down early and start attacking with it, it tends to be a lot better. Okay, there's our Horn of Valhalla. Just what you want to see. Your opponent play a turn 2 card that buffs every single card in their hand, you know? Alright, so let's attack. Stinks I don't have another white mana to leave up. But, you know, I'll be okay. We'll play our Paladin here. Yeah, I may need to try another one of those extensions. Yeah, so that's already a 2-2, and they're about to make it a 3-3, I can say with relative certainty. It's rough. Might also just specialize this. We've seen some nasty starts. You know, we had that one game where we were really just them not having one spell away from winning. Yeah, but then the others have been pretty brutal. Interesting. We have some interesting choices here. More white mana would still be quite good, because I'd be able to Humiliation and Indestructible. As is, I have to do one or the other. It's probably just better to play the Ghoul, humiliate the Monk, and attack them. What happens when you specialize? These thousands of options. Become a 2-3 double striker, who, if I damage it, I get destroyed. So maybe we just need to kill Clement before he specializes. Yeah, that's probably better. Does mean I don't really have any attacks, but yeah, we'll do that. If he didn't have the damage clause on that, where like if I play the humiliation, I'm like SOL, I would have... Although, how does that work? Would the humiliation blank the ability first? I think it would, actually. Man, that turn 2 Clement is brutal. Like, you see just exactly how it makes every card in their hand, like, way better when you play it on turn 2. I had one once, but I always drew it, and I had, like, no creatures in my hand, and I was like, okay, cool. Okay, so I think in response to that, we sacrifice the Prowler. That way we get to draw at least. Plus we have a 4-4 blocker for the turn. Yeah, this wand has been not great, the way things have lined up. We've had some poor luck for sure, but I think it's also sort of a reflection of how clunky these things can be. Alright, so let's play another Prowler. This time we can leave up the Hippogriff. End our turn. So, you know, we have a Monk in our deck, but we haven't been able to even get close to going off with it like they have. Oh, good. So they're going to give something here. Double team, probably Pilgrim's Eye, I guess. The fact that these aren't X1s is just a huge deal, with my gas just, like, sitting here. So... Yeah, I mean, I've had success with the wand too, but yeah. So, interesting. That's... I guess that gives a double strike, but what they don't know is I can give indestructible to my ghoul. Let's see how they attack here. Alright, so we're going to take it 3 in the air, obviously. But I think we block... And then we sacrifice... Do we just sacrifice the Prowler? Because we draw a card and we need cards? Probably. Now, there's a Humiliation. I can only do 3 right now with it. Would I rather use that than the Griff? Probably not. I mean, the Griff works, so I should probably just use it. So we get rid of that thing. We continue to struggle with drawing lands, though. Oh, man. Like, yeah, we've drawn... Unfortunately, we've drawn, like, our clunkiest cards. And then also had games where we just didn't draw lands. So, good news is I can kill Pilgrim's Eye. That's a thing. With the Naga's ability, we can leave up the Humiliation. So, I think we just hang back some more here. Yeah, I think our deck is, like I said during the draft, I don't think it's great, but I think we've had some really subpar performances. So I can sack the gas to kill this now, which is pretty good. Since it's not a 2-2, like all the others. I could get the treasure. I mean, the mana would be good, but it's not that good. Oh. Yeah, I guess in response, should I have... The problem is, if they had an instant there, the gas thing wouldn't have worked. Like, that's all they needed in response was an instant, so... We're just going to take 3. If they get to the end of their turn, I think we Guardian Naga the Pilgrim's Eye. But before we get to that point, I think there's some other things we might want to do. Like kill this Monk of the Open Hand, probably. Although killing Liara is maybe just better. Yeah, let's kill Liara. And then they're targeting the Paladin. Not really any reason to sack in response here. Alright, we did get a 4th land, which is good for our Hippogriff. Yeah, I think we go ahead and play the Hippogriff. We are still at 14, and we have 2 really powerful cards in our hand. It's just a question of whether we'll actually ever get to the point where we can take advantage of that fact. And I'm not sure we can. Killing the Trap Finder with our Ghast really isn't that good here, because they get to search up another creature and everything, so... Yeah, that turn 2 Clement just, like, that's really what allowed our opponent to come out to this huge lead, because all of these X1s would have been so much easier to kill. Okay. Well, that's not good. Do I kill Trap Finder here? 3-5. I don't think so. We go to 3 here, or 4 rather. Yeah. Okay. Kind of getting there. So, I could play the Horn and equip it just to have a huge creature. The problem with that plan... Well, I think that's probably our best play, actually. It lets us actually add to the board, which we can't do otherwise this turn. I guess we'll go with the Hippogriff. But yeah, I mean, I don't... We just had horrible luck this draft. I mean, again, I don't think our deck was great, but usually when you manage to go 0-3, you know, there's also some some variance that's not going your way. So if I make a treasure here, things get a little interesting. Okay, well, they're going to make our lives more difficult. I was hoping they'd just attack with Trap Finder. Because then we have the mana next turn to play and equip the wand and attack. Maybe I should have put this on a ground creature. Something else can gain the flying, but this still has to attack, so it's not like that's great. Alright, so... I think our best bet is still the treasure route. I think we actually kill this Dusk Guard. Yeah. The problem is that stupid flyer. Like, that's the big problem. If they didn't have the flyer, making a bunch of creatures here... Zombies here would be a big deal, but they have that flyer, so I don't think we get the treasure. I think we just kill the Dusk Guard. Okay. Okay. I can kill the flyer now, which is good. Let's play this. Whoa. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that works. Play our wand. I could put it on the ghoul and attack, but that doesn't do enough here. I think we just leave up the Naga. If only I had more than 3 life. Because they don't even have to block. They can just let me get a mountain of of stuff. Yeah, I am going to kill it with the Guardian. I guess we probably just do it now. Yeah, we're just going to do it now. Because if they have a trick or something that can save it, it'll hurt even more if they can use it and save their creature. So, alright, can we stabilize here? Let's find out. We got rid of the flyer. They've got 2 attackers. There's a Valor Singer. Okay. Doesn't concern me too much. Alright. So, definitely blocking this. The question is, do I block the Trap Finder? My Hippogriff is going to drop to a 3/4. There are a few tricks that kill us here. But they also get a haste creature. They can't play it this turn, obviously. I mean, they can, but it would get sacrificed. God, this is a hard choice. Do I take 1 and risk them potentially finishing me off? But also risk losing my Hippogriff? I think we have to block. It's like such a difficult situation. But I think that's what we had to do. Drawing like a 3-drop here would be great to go with the Hippogriff attacking them. That works. Let's see if they have removal. I guess if they had removal, they probably would have just used it. Unless it's only able to kill attacking creatures. Alright, so we get 3 zombies. This gets way bigger in the process. And we play soldiers. I think we might actually manage to stabilize here, barring a direct damage spell of some kind. Pilgrim's Eye with haste. They're going to give it +1/+0 and attack us. Oh, no. That kind of sums up how this draft went, doesn't it? Does that not sum things up? Like, how many... man. So, we lost a lot of ground on getting to Mythic in this draft because we just went straight up 0-3. Brutal. I was saying my record will come back down to earth, and a draft like that will help that happen, that's for sure.